I hope you have enjoyed, as much as I have, Monsignor Ritchie's invocation and the comments of Bob Abrams, Michael Devine, Clifton Daniel, Ambassador Miller, and Bill Haas. We truly appreciate your participation in our event this evening. We are also grateful to all of you for attending. As many of you know, all of you know, today is also a significant day for me. It is my 30th birthday. During my lifetime of only these 30 past years, I have been fortunate to travel to more than 30 nations and to observe both the good that exists in each of these countries and the not so good. Our planet is one beautiful piece of art, created in most divine form, but also bleeding from the ravages of war and the modern fears of terrorism. Each of us has our own destiny, but each of us should still find time in this busy world to make effort on a personal level to assist causes and organizations such as the United Nations in their efforts to achieve world peace. Through the formation of our committee to promote world peace, I hope to dedicate my efforts during the next 30 years to this most important and needed cause. Now I would like to reintroduce to you Dr. Devine, who will make the presentation of Fergus painting to the United Nations. Dr. Devine.
I'd like to present this wonderful piece of art commemorating Truman's contribution to the formation of the United Nations, to the United Nations. And I think we're about to do an unveiling here. Here it is.
Thank you so much. I'm very honored to accept this painting on behalf of the United Nations. I'm here to read the message of the United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan on this occasion. So let me read that message. This gift is precious to the United Nations in several ways. It comes from the government of our host country, without which the United Nations could not have been born, and without which we could hardly exist today. And it depicts a singularly poignant moment in human history. The president of that country attending the signing of the charter which sealed our creation. Harry Truman called the work of the San Francisco Conference a profound cause of thanksgiving to Almighty God. The following year, 60 years ago this October, he told the United Nations General Assembly, and I quote, "The United Nations cannot fulfill adequately its own responsibilities until the peace settlements have been made. And unless these settlements form a solid foundation upon which to build a permanent peace, I submit that these settlements and our search for everlasting peace rest upon 4 essential freedoms. These are freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom from want, and freedom from fear. These are fundamental freedoms to which all the United Nations are pledged under the Charter. To the attainment of these freedoms everywhere in the world, through the friendly cooperation of all nations, the government and people of the United States are dedicated." That was Harry Truman speaking at the General Assembly. As we look back on the 6 decades that have passed since, we must recognize that the world today is very different from that of our founders. Our mission is still to serve the cause of peace, advance development, and defend the dignity of every human being. But to achieve that mission in the 21st century, the UN must adapt to new realities and be equipped to deal with new challenges. This is so whether we are fighting poverty, disease, and environmental degradation, or working to strengthen democracy, whether we are advancing human rights and the rule of law, or combating terrorism, whether we are building peace or making the United Nations more effective and more accountable to the people it exists to serve. A great deal of work lies ahead of all of us as we strive to fulfill the dreams of our founders, the dream of a just and peaceful global community. It is the biggest test the United Nations faces in the new century, and it is a test that Harry Truman would definitely want us to pass. Thank you very much.